Imagine yourself inside a silent temple, where the air vibrates with a light that doesn't come from the sun outside, but from within you. 3 flames burn in harmony, one in your mind, another in your heart, and the third in your soul. They are not poetic metaphors, but centers of energy and consciousness. The 3 suns that Thoth described as the true power of the awakened human being. This video did not reach you by chance. There is something in your frequency that drew you to this moment, like an ancient call echoing through time. Perhaps in another life, under the same Egyptian sky, you once heard these words inscribed on the emerald tablets. Today, they resonate again, but now supported by science, which begins to decipher what the ancients already knew. The universe is mind in motion, light in form, consciousness in expansion. Before we continue, subscribe to this channel. When you do, you are not merely supporting content. You are actively participating in the expansion of a vibrational network. Each new subscriber represents a spark ignited in the collective. Every like and every comment are waves that carry this message to other consciousnesses ready to awaken. This is a spiritual act, not just a digital one. Thoth taught that the universe is not something to be observed, but something to be emitted. Reality does not occur outside of you. It pulses from within. Your mind projects form, your heart imprints emotion upon it, and your soul, the 3rd sun, gives it life and purpose. When these 3 centers vibrate in harmony, manifestation becomes immediate. Not because something magical happens, but because vibration itself becomes one, coherent and absolute. Modern physics calls this quantum coherence. The ancients called it illumination. Neuroscience confirms that the brain creates electrical fields that interact with the magnetic field of the heart, a field 5,000 times stronger. The soul, that consciousness which observes all, connects both to the unified field of the universe. The inner temple is, therefore, a living structure where science and spirit meet. Every thought, emotion, and intention is a vibration that either ignites or dims your inner flames. When you choose to think, feel, and act in coherence, the 3 flames merge, and you awaken the true power of the human being to create reality from the inside out. Today, I invite you to walk through the chambers of this temple. First, the mind, the invisible laboratory, then the heart, the vibrational portal, and finally, the soul, the eternal flame that never fades. During this journey, allow each word to be a touch of light within your own field. Breathe, notice what you feel, and remember, you are not learning something new. You are remembering what you have always been. I now awaken the flame of the 3 suns within my inner temple, and in doing so, I recognize that the entire universe awakens with me. There is something unsettling in the history of humankind. The more we believe we know, the more we realize how much we have forgotten. Ancient civilizations did not see the world as a physical space, but as a conscious organism. And among them all, the Egypt of Thoth stood out for understanding that the cosmos was not the creation of the gods. It was God itself, breathing in the form of the universe. Thoth was not merely a god with the head of an ibis, as the hieroglyphs depict. He was the symbol of cosmic intelligence, the archetype of the mind in a state of illumination. For the initiates of the mystery schools, Thoth was the master who mastered time, the messenger between dimensions, the guardian of the creative word. They said his voice could move planets because it resonated in perfect harmony with the vibration of the all. According to the emerald tablets, Thoth revealed that the universe was born from 3 centers of light, the 3 suns. These were not physical stars, but vibrational states of human consciousness. The first sun, the mental, is the thought that gives form to energy. The second, emotional, is the feeling that gives movement to form. And the third, spiritual, is the presence that gives life to both. From this triad, the human being was conceived as a living reflection of the cosmos. Hermetic tradition described the human body as a temple of light, a divine laboratory where the microcosm and the macrocosm mirror one another. At the top of that temple stands the mind, the observer and architect. At the center, the heart, the alchemist that translates vibration into reality. And at the base, the soul, the eternal fire that sustains the whole structure. Thoth taught that the secret of manifestation lies in the alignment of these three flames. When the mind thinks in one direction, the heart feels in another, and the soul remains silent, creation fragments. But when the three unite, the universe responds instantly, for it is nothing but the reflection of the conscious emitter. Modern science begins to confirm what the ancients intuited. Experiments in quantum physics demonstrate that reality changes when observed, and neuroscience studies show that the human brain reorganizes itself according to focus and emotion. The mind creates the electric field, the heart generates the magnetic field, and together they form a circuit of light, a unique energetic signature. This is what shapes what we call personal reality. For millennia, this knowledge was hidden. The Hermetic texts were coded in symbols so that only initiates could understand them. Thoth knew that such immense power, if misunderstood, could destroy more than it could create. Thus he left a warning. When man's light surpasses his wisdom, chaos will reign. Today we live precisely at that turning point, where science reveals the power of the mind, but few master the balance of the soul. Thoth did not speak of religion. He spoke of consciousness. He invited us to remember that every human being is an emanation of the same original sun, a spark of the universal mind that observes itself through billions of eyes. To remember this is to reignite the first sun, the sun of the awakened mind. It is to look within and recognize, I am the temple where the universe recreates itself with every thought. Within the temple of being, there exists a language not written in words, but in light. It is the language of vibration, and within it lies the code of the three suns. Thoth said that to understand this code was to decipher the very architecture of creation. For everything that exists, from the spinning of galaxies to the pulse of a cell, arises from the interaction between thought, emotion, and consciousness. The ancients called this process the alchemy of light. The mind is the active principle. It projects images, ideas, and possibilities. The heart is the magnetic principle. It infuses emotion, color, and frequency. And the soul is the eternal principle. It observes and sustains both, allowing the invisible to become experience. When one of these elements acts alone, illusion is born. When all three unite, reality is formed. Modern science is beginning to translate this ancient wisdom into quantum language. Thought, for instance, is an electrical pattern emitted by the brain, a wave of probability that alters the behavior of subatomic particles. Emotions, generated in the heart and throughout the nervous system, are magnetic fields that give direction and strength to these waves. The soul, or the highest level of consciousness, is the observer that collapses these possibilities into a single line of reality. This is the true code of the three suns. The mind designs the pattern, the heart energizes it, and the soul manifests it. Three distinct functions, yet inseparable, like three notes that, when played together, produce the harmony of existence. When Thoth said that the universe was created by three centers of light, he was not referring to distant stars, but to inner centers, each corresponding to a dimension of human consciousness. Imagine for a moment that your mind is the sun of dawn, clear, logical, structured. Your heart, the sun of noon, intense, vibrant, radiant. and your soul, the son of dusk, silent, profound, eternal. 3 moments of the same cycle, 3 aspects of the same being. When these suns align, the white light of total coherence emerges, and it is at that point that the power of manifestation awakens. By understanding the code of the 3 suns, you begin to perceive that reality is not something that happens to you, but something you continuously encode. Each thought is a command, each emotion a frequency, each silence a seed. The universe is a quantum mirror. It returns precisely the vibration you emit. And when that vibration arises from the alignment of your 3 centers, the impossible ceases to exist. No symbol is born by chance. What we now call the code of the 3 suns is a modern interpretation inspired by fragments of a much older wisdom. In the Hermetic texts attributed to Thoth, or Hermes Trismegistus, as he became known to the Greeks, we find numerous passages describing the threefold structure of reality. Although the phrase 3 suns never appears literally, the underlying principle is the same. Both the universe and the human being mirror 3 levels of consciousness: the mental, the psychic, and the divine. In the Emerald Tablets, Thoth declares, "All that is created comes forth from light, and light comes forth from the One." This light, he says, divides into gradations and vibrational levels that form the visible and invisible worlds. The first level is the mind, the field of thought. The second, the vibrational plane of subtle forces, or the plane of the soul. And the third, the pure light of spirit. Here lies the parallel that inspired the concept of the 3 suns. 3 centers of emanation from the same source. 3 intensities of the same primordial light. In the Corpus Hermeticum, especially in the treatise Poemandris, Hermes describes his vision of creation. "And I saw a light and a darkness that were separated. From the light was born the Logos, from the Logos the divine mind, and from the mind all things." This triad, light, mind, creation, corresponds precisely to the Trinitarian model of consciousness described in later Hermetic writings, and reinterpreted becomes the symbolic foundation of our code. Hermeticism also teaches that the human being is a microcosm of the all. As above, so below, the famous tablet of correspondence. Thus, the 3 cosmic planes have their internal reflections in man: the mental sun, thought; the emotional sun, vibration; and the spiritual sun, presence. The alchemical tradition called this solve et coagula, separate to understand, unite to create. Therefore, the code of the 3 suns is not a rootless invention, but a living metaphor built upon authentic foundations of Hermetic philosophy. What we do here is translate symbolic language into practical experience, uniting science and spirit, reason and mysticism. Thoth said, "Man is a star bound in flesh. To remember the 3 suns is to free that star and let it shine in its fullness. The first sun rises in the silence of the mind. It is the fire that thinks, the light that sketches invisible forms before they exist." Thoth said that the mind is the mirror in which the universe observes and creates itself. When consciousness thinks, it emits light, and that light, vibrating within the quantum field, organizes the particles of reality. The mind is therefore the first laboratory of the cosmos, the space where the unseen begins to take shape. Modern quantum physics confirms this ancient mystery. The mere act of observation changes the behavior of matter. The electron has no defined position until it is perceived. In other words, nothing is real until consciousness manifests it. Thoth described this principle millennia ago when he declared, "What man imagines in light, the universe transforms into form." Thought is the first gesture of creation. the energetic blueprint of reality. But the mind is an ambiguous tool. It can create to expand or to imprison. Every thought generates an electrical wave, and every wave interacts with the field surrounding the body. To think with fear is to project chaos. To think with clarity and purpose is to emit coherence. This is why the mind alone is not enough. If the heart does not vibrate in harmony, the energy emitted disperses, like light without direction. Still, the first sun is essential. It represents the power of focus, the ability to consciously choose what one wishes to generate. When the mind is scattered, the universe receives conflicting signals. But when thought becomes steady, the field responds. Here, neuroscience and spirituality converge. Studies show that the human brain reorganizes its neural connections according to sustained focus. Each time you direct your attention toward an idea, you strengthen a neural pathway, and each pathway is a vibrational seed. Thoth taught that to think is to ignite the creative fire. The secret lies in cultivating thought as a priest tends to a sacred flame, with intention, presence, and reverence. Before any manifestation, the mind must be ordered, cleared of noise, the voices that repeat fear and limitation. Pure thought is like a line of light tracing the skeleton of the possible. To apply the power of the first sun, choose one thought you wish to materialize. Close your eyes and see it as a luminous form floating before you. Breathe, hold the image steady, and feel the universe beginning to reorganize itself around that intention. The mind is the first workshop of the divine. Everything that exists, before it became matter, was once a thought sustained with faith. And when that mental flame remains lit, the rest of the universe begins to align to give it form. If the mind is the fire that thinks, the heart is the fire that feels. It is there that energy gains rhythm, texture, and direction. Thoth taught that the heart is the second sun of the inner temple, the point where the light of the mind turns into living vibration. If thought is the lightning bolt, the heart is the thunder that follows, the sound of creation echoing within the human body. For centuries, the heart was seen merely as a biological pump, but science is beginning to reveal its deeper role. The HeartMath Institute, for example, has shown that the magnetic field of the heart is about 5,000 times stronger than that of the brain, and that it influences not only every cell of the body, but also the energetic field around us. The heart thinks, feels, communicates, and resonates. It is an antenna of quantum vibration. The second sun is the portal of coherent emotion. The mind can imagine infinite worlds, but it is the heart that gives reality to one of them. Without emotion, thought remains only a static image. When you truly feel, when thought and feeling dance together, an electromagnetic field is created that informs the universe of what you have chosen to experience. The heart is the messenger between the human and the divine. In Hermeticism, it was said that emotion is the language of the gods. Emotional vibration is the code the universe understands. Fear sends a message of contraction. Gratitude sends one of expansion. That is why the most powerful manifestations do not come from rational thought, but from a deep feeling of certainty. When the heart vibrates with love and trust, it tunes into creative frequencies, those that shape harmonious and fluid realities. But the second sun also holds its traps. Repressed emotions, old sorrows, and forgotten guilt act like clouds that obscure the light. For the heart to radiate its pure frequency again, the emotional field must be cleansed, not through repression, but through presence. Thoth taught that to feel is to allow energy to move. Emotion is energy in motion. When the flow is blocked, the light stagnates. When the flow is released, the sun shines again. To awaken the second sun, place your hands over your chest and breathe deeply. Feel the movement of the breath entering and leaving like waves. Think of something that brings you a genuine sense of gratitude, not just in the mind but in the body. Allow that feeling to grow until it becomes warmth. That warmth is living light. It is the second sun radiating through you. And in that silent moment, repeat within yourself, I become the frequency of what I love. Breathe. Close your eyes for a moment and notice something within you is moving now, silently. It is not imagination. It is resonance. Up to this point, you have passed through two portals, the sun of the mind and the sun of the heart, and every word in this video has been a mirror, inviting you to remember who you truly are. Now, before moving on to the third sun, it is time for stillness, the point between inhalation and exhalation, between knowing and being. This is not ordinary content. The information you are receiving comes from fragments of knowledge that, for millennia, were kept behind closed doors. The initiates of the ancient Egyptian mystery schools spent years preparing to hear what you have heard in a few minutes. But understanding intellectually is only the first step. True awakening begins when knowledge becomes a living experience. Pay attention. The mind alone creates images. The heart alone feels. But only their union generates the field capable of altering matter. This is where many stop, because the ego tries to understand logically what can only be experienced through presence. Thoth said, the mind asks, the heart feels, and the soul answers. Now it is time to hear that answer. If you have come this far, there is a reason. The vibration that brought you to this video is the same that moves the entire universe. The desire to remember. And remembering, on this path, is not about accumulating information, but reactivating frequency. What you are feeling now is exactly that. The vibrational memory that you are made of the same light that creates worlds. Before continuing, stay with me for a moment. Inhale deeply and feel the air entering like a golden wave. Sense that wave travel through your body, touch your heart, and ascend to the point of light behind your eyes. This is the alignment between the first and second suns. Now, you are not just hearing a teaching, you are being moved by it. And remember, this channel is a field of frequency, not just a digital space. When you subscribe, comment, or share, you activate the network of collective consciousness. You are telling the universe, I participate in the awakening. Continue. The third sun awaits you, the eternal flame of the soul, where thought and feeling become pure creation. There is a light that neither rises nor sets. It simply is. It is the third sun, the soul, the silent point from which all things arise and to which all return. If the mind creates and the heart vibrates, it is the soul that sustains. Thoth called this center the eye of the all, the point of pure consciousness that observes the play of life without being entangled in it. The soul does not think or feel, it knows. Within the inner temple, the soul occupies the invisible altar. There is no form, no color, no time. It is absolute presence. Modern physics touches the same mystery when it speaks of the unified field, a network of energy where all particles are connected instantaneously, regardless of distance. What scientists call quantum entanglement, Thoth called the unity of divine consciousness. Everything is one single organism vibrating at different frequencies of light. The soul is the point of convergence between the first two suns. It is the flame that keeps thought and emotion alive. When mind and heart align, the soul awakens and begins to radiate an energy that transcends space and time. This is why certain people seem to alter the environment merely by their presence. Their soul is active, emitting coherence at a high frequency. They need say nothing. The field does the work. To awaken the third sun is not an act of achievement, but of surrender. It is the moment when the human I dissolves into the consciousness of the all. Duality fades, time grows silent, and a deep perception arises. The universe is not outside of you, it pulses within. When that realization settles, life ceases to be a sequence of events and becomes a dance between the visible and the invisible, between being and flow. To access this state, no effort is needed, only space. Close your eyes and feel the emptiness between one thought and the next. That space is the dwelling of the soul. Remain there for a few seconds and notice something awaken, not as an idea, but as presence. It is the light that knows, the intelligence that guides, the spark of the all within you. When it ignites, everything simplifies. Doubt yields to trust, fear dissolves into stillness, and the I recognizes itself as part of the vastness. Thoth said, "The man who recognizes his soul becomes the very sun that guides him." The soul does not seek, it radiates. It is the silent beacon revealing that the entire spiritual journey is not about going beyond oneself, but about returning to the center, where all began. The third sun is the homecoming, the reunion with the light that never ceased to shine. There is a moment when all levels of consciousness unite, when the mind grows silent, the heart vibrates, and the soul radiates. This is the point of alignment of the three suns, the moment in which the human being becomes a bridge between the invisible and the visible. Thoth described this state as the harmony of the triple flame, the fusion of thought, emotion, and spirit that awakens the power of instant manifestation. Imagine your energy field as a living mandala. At the top, the mind projects light, the sun of creation. At the center, the heart vibrates, the sun of emotion. At the core, the soul sustains, the sun of presence. When these three movements align, a single frequency of coherence is created. Science is beginning to understand this phenomenon. Studies from the HeartMath Institute show that when the brain and the heart enter into synchrony, the entire body changes state. The immune system strengthens, brainwaves stabilize, and the human electromagnetic field expands. This state is more than emotional balance. It is a field of manifestation. The mind sends the command, the heart amplifies it, and the soul transmits it. The universe responds not to words but to vibrational coherence. When the three suns spin in unison, the cosmos recognizes the signal as a sacred order. In that instant, matter bends to intention. Thoth taught that coherence is the true magic. He said, "He who unites the three fires becomes the fire that creates." In practice, this means acting in complete congruence, thinking what you feel, feeling what you say, saying what you are. Dissonance between thought, emotion, and action breaks the field. Coherence activates it. When you think love, feel gratitude, and act with compassion, your energy field becomes pure geometry, a structure of light capable of reorganizing the environment around you. To cultivate this state, begin with the simple. Choose a thought, feel the corresponding emotion, and allow the body to act in harmony. If you think of prosperity, feel abundance and act as one who already possesses it. If you think of healing, feel your body whole and live as one already restored. The universe does not respond to lack. It responds to the frequency of realization. Aligning the three suns is living in the time of now, where everything already is. When this alignment occurs, manifestation ceases to be an effort and becomes the natural consequence of inner coherence. Reality reconfigures itself around the emitted field. It is the moment when the human remembers their divine nature and the inner temple becomes fully illuminated. The mind becomes light, the heart becomes sound, and the soul silence. And in that luminous silence, the impossible bends, and the miracle becomes simple. When this alignment occurs, manifestation ceases to be effort and becomes the natural consequence of inner coherence. Reality reconfigures itself around the emitted field. It is the moment when the human remembers their divine nature and the inner temple becomes fully illuminated. The mind becomes light, the heart becomes sound, and the soul, silence. And in that luminous silence, the impossible bends and the miracle becomes simple. Now close your eyes for a moment. Breathe. Feel the three suns shining within you, pulsing in perfect harmony, and repeat with intention. I vibrate in the light that creates my world. Simple, direct, and powerful. This phrase is a vibrational seal, short enough to remember, strong enough to move energy. That is why the affirmations you leave here, in the comments or in your personal journal, are more than words. They are codes of vibration. When you write, read, and repeat consciously, you create an energetic circuit that reprograms the mind and anchors this new timeline within your field. So when I invite you to comment, it's not merely to engage the video, it's to feed the collective flow of consciousness. It's an anchoring exercise. Daily repetition transforms vibration into identity. So, if you wish to seal this understanding now, write here or for yourself. I consciously choose the frequency that creates my world. Repeat this phrase in the coming days, aloud or in silence. Let it become the soundtrack of your vibrational field. Because every time you speak it, the universe reorganizes its particles around this new coherence, and little by little, everything that does not resonate with it begins to dissolve, naturally, without effort. Not all light shines without shadow. For the three suns to remain lit, one must recognize what dims their glow. Thoth said that the greatest obstacle to manifestation is not a lack of power, but a lack of coherence. The human being becomes lost when they think one thing, feel another, and act in the opposite direction. This disharmony creates interference in the field, fragments energy, and distorts the natural flow of creation. The first error is scattered thought, the mind that wanders between past and future, forgetting the present moment. When focus is divided, energy is divided as well. Quantum physics shows that the observer influences the behavior of the particle. But when there are multiple conflicting observations, the field becomes disorganized. Life mirrors the same principle. Multiple desires, multiple fears, multiple intentions. The universe responds to the dominant vibration, and when that vibration is confused, the result is chaos. The second error is misaligned emotion. The heart is the amplifier of reality, but also the mirror of unhealed wounds. Old fears, resentments, and repressed guilt form fields of incoherence that block vibrational flow. Feeling anger or sadness is not the problem. The blockage arises when you identify with these emotions and turn them into identity. Thoth said, "Be not the sound of thunder, be the space that contains it." In other words, feel everything, but cling to nothing. The third error is disconnection from the soul, living driven only by external stimuli while forgetting inner purpose. When a human being loses the ability to listen to the soul, they try to fill the void with effort, control, and desire. But conscious creation does not come from effort. It comes from resonance. It is like trying to light a flame by blowing too hard. The more you force it, the more it fades. Recognizing these errors is the first step to dissolving them. The second is to replace them with states of coherence. For the mind, silence and focus. For the heart, acceptance and gratitude. For the soul, surrender and presence. These are the three gestures that reignite harmony among the suns. Close your eyes now and say to yourself, softly, I release what fragments me and choose to vibrate in unity. Repeat this affirmation whenever you feel your mind scattered or your heart in conflict. Write it down if you wish. Each repetition is an act of realignment. Every time you speak it, a new coherence begins to form within your field. Thoth said that knowledge without practice is like a single flame in the dark. It shines for a moment, but it does not transform the environment. True power arises when knowledge becomes experience. That is why the ancient priests of Thoth's temple performed inner alignment rituals, simple yet profoundly transformative practices designed to activate the three centers of light within the human being, the three suns. This ritual requires no candles, incense, or words in forgotten tongues. It requires only presence. It is a science of applied consciousness, an inner spiritual technology. What you are about to do is a modern version of that same process, adapted to the energetic and scientific language of our time. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, inhale deeply through your nose, and imagine you are absorbing the golden light of the first sun, the mind. Visualize that light entering through the crown of your head, filling your brain with calm, clarity, and focus. Exhale slowly and feel the excess mental noise dissolve. Inhale again, and this time, bring your attention to your chest. See a green golden sphere pulsing at the center of your heart, the second sun. With each breath, that light expands, sending waves of harmony and compassion throughout your body. Finally, bring your awareness to the point below your navel. See a deep, serene blue golden light, the third sun, the soul. Remain here for a few moments, simply sensing its presence, as if the universe itself were breathing with you. Now, merge the three lights into a single flame in the center of your chest. This flame is the fusion of the three suns, the perfect geometry of creation. Feel the energy rise to the mind, descend to the heart, and radiate through the soul. Allow this flow to form a field around you, a luminous egg of pure consciousness. This is your field of manifestation. Here, thought, emotion, and spirit vibrate in unison. Stay in this state for a few moments, breathing consciously. Feel your body become lighter, time expand, space respond. You are connected to the same field that sustains galaxies, waves, atoms, and dreams. And in this state, speak calmly, with certainty, with presence. I am light in action. Everything that vibrates within me manifests in perfection. Repeat this practice for a few minutes whenever you wish to realign. It can be done upon waking, before sleep, or in moments of doubt. The more you repeat it, the more natural coherence becomes. Remember, the three suns are not concepts, they are states. And when those states merge, you do not merely manifest, you become the very field of creation. The path we have walked together was not merely a journey of knowledge. It was a process of remembrance. Each sun you awakened within yourself revealed a part of your divine nature, the mind that creates, the heart that feels, and the soul that sustains. Now, these three centers vibrate as a single flame. The inner temple is illuminated. Thoth said that the true initiate is not the one who accumulates secrets, but the one who lives in coherence with the light they already know. That means acting from presence, speaking with intention, and choosing with awareness. Alignment is not a fixed state. It is a living practice, a constant dance between focus, emotion, and silence. Every time you breathe consciously, think clearly, and feel with gratitude, the three suns reignite. Manifestation ceases to be desire and becomes the natural expression of your vibration. This is how a new reality is created, not through effort, but through frequency. Now, take this knowledge with you into daily life. Bring the sacred into the simple, into your gestures, your gaze, your breath. When mind and heart unite in presence, the soul transforms everything into light. It is at that point that the spiritual and the human cease to be opposites and become one and the same. And remember, the power you sought has always been within. You are the very emanation of the All, the living reflection of the original Sun. So when you doubt, breathe and remember, I am light in action. If this message resonated with you, share it. Help expand this field of consciousness, for every person who awakens illuminates hundreds of others. Leave your comment, your vibration, your testimony, not merely for engagement, but because your energy is part of this collective creation. And remember, the highest timeline is not a place in the future, it is a state of being, available here and now. May you walk in peace, in lucidity, and in love, until the next awakening.